For lunch, Nikita?
Of course, Yuvamitra. How can I forget food? I ate chicken tandoori and fish biryani.
Amazing. That sounds mouth-watering. But do you know that despite the taste, of late we've been receiving news regarding the heavy consumption of non-vegetarian leading to many diseases.
Is it? I thought eating red meat and fish provides us nutrients like proteins and omega-3 fatty acid.
That's very true, Likita. But like I said before, heavy consumption of non-vegetarian can lead to extreme drawbacks.
Maybe we can invite a high school students of Sri Ayappa to represent an English play named To Palate. They are going to explain the complications of consumption of non-vegetarian food and its drawbacks.
That's an amazing idea, Likita.
So audience, let's now encourage our students with a big round of applause.
From plate to palate. This skit is about what we eat. Are we eating our way to extinction? It doesn't even make the headlines, and no one even knows about it. 5 mass extinction events on this planet in 450 million years. 26,000 species currently threatened with extinction. Drought, extreme flooding, frequent typhoons, dramatic, extreme and unpredictable water events all over the world. A complete catastrophe. Where are we heading to? And what are we eating matters a lot. Is it becoming our way to extinction? Let's watch Eating Our Way to Extinction. Scene 1. Sri Ayappa Matriculation Higher Secondary School's assembly time.
Happy morning, dear students. Actually, I wanted this gathering on a purpose. Yesterday, during General Assembly, I noticed students fainting down in dining pit. Really, it was disgusting to know that you people don't take breakfast seriously. Students, remember, breakfast sets the tone for the day. If you eat a balanced meal that includes protein, complex carbohydrates and healthy fat, you will start the day feeling energized. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Eating breakfast can help jump your metabolism. Eating breakfast can also keep blood sugar and blood pressure levels steady. On the contrary, if you skip the breakfast, you may experience headache, blood sugar dips, faintness and difficulty in focusing on a task. By regularly skipping morning meals, you are more susceptible to weight gain, increased risk of atherosclerosis, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity and high cholesterol. Apart from food at regular intervals and timely intake, sleep also plays a major role in building the stamina. Early to bed, early to rise. Let your family members watch TV, but you hit the bed by 9:30 p.m. For a peaceful sleep, better remove the batteries from the remote control. And finally, wake up by 5 a.m. and come out of the 4 walls. Take fresh air with full of positivity and pollution-free atmosphere. Start the day positively and end the day productively. So, my dear students, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Take away this message to your loved ones also. Thank you.
Good evening. Am I speaking to Miss Kritika? Yes. Ma'am, we are calling from Sims Multi-Specialty Hospital.
Yes, I hope the blood report is ready. If so, can you mail it?
Ma'am, sorry. Actually, it's an emergency. So, we have made an appointment with Dr. Irfaz by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Please confirm the appointment. Thank you.
Oh, God in heavens, it was like no one wants to hear that.
Scene 2. Sims Multi-Speciality Hospital, Soringanallur.
May I come in, doctor?
Yes, Miss Kritika, please make yourself comfortable. How are things going on after pandemic?
Yes, doctor, by the grace of God, everything is fine.
That sounds good. Yes, Miss Kritika, your blood report. Your blood report doesn't seem to be normal. There are some variation which need a major concern.
Doctor, I am a bit tense. My adrenaline is pumping. Please make it clear.
The point is, you have extreme mercury poisoning on a 0 to 5 scale, which is what we measure. 5 being toxic, you are 23.
That is crazy. Doctor, how it is possible? I'm very keen in following a balanced and healthy diet, which usually consists vegetable salad, fish, salads, fish and never meat of any kind. Probably someone is trying to poison me.
You are right in a way. Literally, it is like poisoning ourselves unknowingly. The addition process reveals the truth where the traces of mercury came from. And I'm sorry to say it was from the fish. Miss Kritika, let me quote an incident. It has been 3 years. A patient from South India came with severe moment. He burned a hole in his esophagus and almost collapsed. He lost a third of his blood supply and lost half of his hemoglobin. Luckily, he was admitted at the right time, so we could save him. Now he is healthy and hale following the plant-based diet.
Doctor, it is getting serious.
Exactly, it is not as easy as we think. Some even lost their memory, suffer frequent headaches, fatigue, and it may also lead to depression. What we are seeing now is with the toxic environmental exposure. Methyl mercury in fish is that everyone has got to be careful because there the levels are going up.
But Dr. Ifras, how do we get the fish oils that we all need for the brain and for the body? If we can't have fish, what do you suggest? Well, we used to get from fish oils.
That sounds quite sensible. We can actually get them from vegetables. Flax seeds are the richest source of omega-3 fatty acids that we everybody think that can be from fish only. If you get enough of that as starting material, your body will make what the fish oil make and it will be clean.
Great, that is really great. So flax seeds have omega-3 fatty acid equivalent to fish oils?
Well, let me put in this way for better understanding. Where do the fish get this omega-3 from? And it turns out that they get them from the algae in the ocean, and algae is a plant food. Henceforth, you are basically getting the concentrated toxins if you are eating fish frequently.
May I come in?
Hello Priya, how was the trip to America? By the by, she is Dr. Vishnupriya, who is involved in research related to mercury assimilation in aquatic animals.
Dr. Vishnupriya, I was really wondering from where do these animals acquire mercury from? That is really shocking.
Horribly, our oceans have been filled with plastics. 80% of the plastic is made up of discarded fishing gears. Those nets, fishing lines, has made it as a plasticide ocean. There is an estimation that over 5 trillion tons of plastic is currently floating in the oceans. Microplastics are absolutely everywhere, whether in polar regions or in remote islands. The most pathetic part is that there is 27 times more bits of plastic than there are fish larvae.
But Dr. Vishnupriya, are we really consuming those microplastic?
Certainly, Miss Kritika, not directly but indirectly, because fishes feeds on planktons and planktons are filter feeders. They consistently ingest the plastic particles which gets accumulated in the body. From them to small fishes, then to big fishes, and finally to us. To be precise, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, covering an area of about 1.6 million square kilometer, is the best example to understand the growing problem of microplastics in the sea. So, to solve this problem of a plastic ocean is to move away from eating fish and switch to a plant-based diet.
Mercury, mercury, mercury. So that was a bad dream, but I need to think of my students. Mrs. Vidya, kindly block the date on 26 February and make an appointment with Mona Lisa, Sridharanya and Madhuhasni, our alumni.
Scene 3, Karu Indra Devi Memorial Auditorium, Sri Ayappa Matriculation Higher Secondary School.
Happy evening, student. In our midst, we have Miss Mona Lisa, Sridharanya and Madhuhasni. They are social activists who are in mission of creating awareness on the prevailing food habits, especially the youth.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. Good evening, students. Students, have you ever imagined that we had 5 mass extinction events on this planet in 450 million years? Let me be clear on this. Last time, we had an extinction event of this magnitude at about 65 million years ago. Today, over 26,000 species are currently threatened with extinction. Just because of livestock, we have major biodiversity loss. It is predicted that by 2025, the species loss will be so great that we won't recover. This is called as biological annihilation. The earth will suffer ecological collapse. And the biggest thing you and I can do is change our diet. In order to keep the temperatures below the dangerous 2 degrees Celsius threshold set out in our climate, we need to drastically reduce our consumption of meat by around 80%. It's entirely out of keeping with the urgency of the crisis that we are facing. Students, it is not 2025, it is 2045.
Ma'am, my elders say that fish, chicken and red meat provide proteins necessary for our metabolism. Let me make it clear. Thank you for raising that question. Let me ask you, what are global warming gases? Carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide emitted through various sources polluting the air. Yes, apart from these gases, livestock emit methane and nitrous oxide. Methane is 25 times more potent per molecule than carbon dioxide when it is released. And nitrous oxide is 298 times more potent per molecule than carbon dioxide. These are very powerful global warming gases. Ma'am, but how does these gases enter the atmosphere? Methane is a gas that is being produced by cows when they blush. Livestock are the largest source of methane that we can control. Steep cut in methane emissions is the most effective means to slow global warming in critical years ahead. Major portion of the forest are cleared to grow fodder for the cattle. Chemical fertilizers used for this purpose reacts with the moisture, releasing volumes and volumes of nitrous oxide that result in massive azot.
What about having chicken? Chicken 65, grilled, tandoori, mint chicken, etc.
Oh, of the estimated 70 billion land animals eared for human consumption each year, nearly 90% are chickens. I'm sorry to say, an emerging problem is that chicken consumption is now on the rise. Chickens are intensively farmed and this is having devastating effects on our planet.
If not chicken, then what?
Chickpeas. Yes, chickpeas sundar is a good substitute because rearing chicken causes 40 times more climate-related warming per calories and use 50 times the amount of water. What we find is that no matter how you produce animal products, even the lowest impact forms of production still create higher emissions and use more land than typical vegetable proteins. Ma'am, recently I read about the bird flu. What is it actually? Because just like that, either thousands and thousands of poultry stock die or they are deliberately killed. Good. I am happy that you are aware of this fact. Animal to human diseases that arise are because of the way that animals are treated. The unhygienic, filthy condition became breeding grounds for millions and millions of microbes.
Swine flu killed over 500,000 people is believed to have originated in pig farming. Ebola virus believed to have come from eating wild animals. ME auris from camel's milk and meat. SA auris from live animal wet markets. Bird flu from chicken farms. And measles virus from cow farms.
Yes, the World Health Organization (WHO) has announced that the post-antibiotic era is near.
Post-antibiotic era. Ma'am, if I am right, antibiotic is usually prescribed by a doctor for an infection or any disease. Do you mean that?
Wow, great! Students of Shiayappa are really smart. You are right. Post-antibiotic era is a time where a simple abrasion on the arm could become fatal.
But what does an antibiotic do with animal agriculture?
Ma'am, they say pesticides and chemical fertilizers are used in plant agriculture also.
That is a million-dollar question. Since the fertile land and forest are destroyed predominantly for animal farming and fodder cultivation, we are forced to increase the crop production through all means to meet the demand. If agriculture is transformed to plant agriculture, obviously the production will be more and there won't be other means to increase the production. The problem is that in many places, water is being used much faster than the natural renewal rates. Overall in the world, 1.8 billion people are living in areas with severe water scarcity. The livestock sector is the single biggest water user in the world. 1/3 of the water use in the world is being used for producing animal products, meat, and dairy. And if we want enough fresh water for future generations, water alone dictates that we must change our diet away from meat and dairy.
One last question. Can we survive without animal food?
Yes, of course, human can be healthy on a plant-based diet without any animal products. Yes, it is my responsibility to justify the statement. Have you heard about Blue Zone? Blue Zone is an area where we find large number of centenarians. Centenarians are the people who live over 100 years and still productive. There are 5 regions around the globe. Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Cassia in Greece, Nicoya in Costa Rica, Loma Linda in California. So the question is, well, what do they all have in common? They are predominantly a plant-based diet.
So dear students, how we are going to live, how we are going to eat, plant-based diet makes all the differences. Just make some choices that are good for you, and being good for you, it will be good for the planet Earth.
This planet is our home and it is up to us what happens now. History has shown that when we stand together, united in a common cause, we can achieve great things. Before us lies an opportunity to build a world in which we can thrive. Thank you.
Lunch time, Sri Ayappa Matriculation Higher Secondary School.
Hi children, how do you do? Shall I join you? What is this boy doing with a book? You're reading a story book. Good, have the habit of reading books, but this is not the right time. Avoid doing any activities while eating. Just focus on the food, what you eat. Ma'am, I love watching my favorite cartoon too while eating. What is your name? I am Nitish. No, Nitish, let me explain. When you focus on the plate, your mind prepares your stomach. Yes, the food that you see and smell triggers your brain, thereby preparing your stomach for the show. This stimulates the gastric glands to produce required enzymes in required quantity. Otherwise, improper digestion will lead to improper oxidation, and this leads to improper assimilation. So, whatever you eat, how much you eat will not give proper nourishment. Either you will land up on obesity or malnutrition. The unburned food remains in the blood, affecting the blood sugar level.
Ma'am, usually diabetes or something related to aged people, right? But of late, I read it in newspapers that even very young people are subjected to acute diabetes and kidney failure.
Ma'am, Nitish always cracks jokes while eating, but my mom has said we should not talk while food is in the mouth.
Yes, your mom is absolutely correct. When you speak with the mouth filled with food, The food particle enters the windpipe, causing discomfort, which is sometimes lethal because of choking.
Ma'am, is it good to drink water for every mouth of food? I have seen my friend doing it.
Not necessary. When you chew the food with your mouth tightly closed, the salivary gland gives enough secretion for the food to mix and swallow easily.
Ma'am, you say it is good to have fresh food, but my mom preserves the leftovers in the refrigerator.
The lifespan of cooked food is 6 hours. After it becomes dead food. It is for you to decide whether to consume nutritious food or dead food. So, my dear friends, it is very much needed to know about what we eat and how we eat. Are we really eating to live or just think?